Hey again, guys. So let's look at the pizza sprite once more, but on this particular video I want us to play with it for a little bit just to kind of get an idea of how this works. And I would encourage you also to take your own working program, save it off somewhere, and then do a copy and play with it. Personally, that's the best way that I know that you can learn this stuff is get your hands into it and then test and then see what happens. It's as simple as that. So what are we going to do with this particular one now? This is what I want to do as far as play with it. So when we looked at our last video, we saw our wall background and the pizza at these particular X and Y coordinates. So let's go ahead and create another pizza, because basically I'm going to take this existing code and I'm going to change adding it a number 2 on here, because this is going to be pizza number 2. Now I do not want it to be in the same XY coordinates because it'll just overlay it on the same point. So let's go ahead and make a change on that. Let's call it 120 to 140. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to save this as a different deal. I'm going to save this as a test py, because again, when I have a working program, I don't want to go one step forward and 3 steps back. So I'm going to go ahead and save that as a test. Now, in order to run this, I still need my batch file, but I don't have a batch file that runs test yet. So on my bat file, what I'll do is I'll add underscore test so that it will pull my specific program in the same folder. And I'm going to go ahead and call this bat file a test also. Now when you actually do this, you notice that it will default to text. In order to get away from that, put double quotes around here and it will save it very specific what we want, .bat file. Okay, so now it's a test bat and a test py. Alright, so let me find that one and I'm going to run that bat file. Okay, so here we go. So notice that it ran the test, the one that we want, and this is what our new picture looks like. We still have the exact same height and width, same frames per second. Here's our wall JPEG, just as we did before. Our first pizza, as we saw in the last round, and now our new pizza is here on different XY coordinates. So this gives you an idea of how to add additional images on here. But let's do one more thing because I'm kind of curious about something. Close these out and notice that we didn't put a transparent false on this particular pizza. Now we know what it looks like before, but I am just personally kind of curious of how this might be. So we're going to look at it together. Let's do a transparent equals false also. Alright, so I'm going to save this. This remains the same. And I'm going to go ahead and rerun this bat file and see what it looks like. Interesting. So now it has the actual picture that we would see if we would open it up in an image editor, and the transparency is false. So interesting enough, the first picture, it almost as if it defaults transparency equals true, whereas my transparency false, it will show the white borders. Let's take one more step forward, because I'm going to actually change this to true. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to do a file save. I'm going to rerun my bat file again, and looky here, the actual borders disappear. So what's the point of this particular video? The point of this video is I want you guys to go in and play with it and then get a better understanding of how these commands work and how the program will overall become as you change these codes. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you get something out of it. And go code.